Hey guys, today I'm going to show you how to make one of my favorite pastries. It's a real French classic and I'm talking about a mille-feuille. First, I'm going to show you how to make your own puff pastry and we'll fill it with a whipped cardamom ganache, a mango and vanilla gel, a coffee and caramel ganache, and some caramelized peanuts. So, let's begin. First, we're going to make the puff pastry. A puff pastry consists of two components, the beurrage, which is the butter, and the détrempe, which is the dough. Let's start with the beurrage. For that, transfer 350 grams of butter into a mixing bowl and also add 75 grams of flour. Now mix this on a low speed until it's a smooth and even mixture. You don't want any air in the butter, so this will only take a couple of seconds. Then transfer down some parchment paper and shape it into a square that's 20 centimeters by 20 centimeters. Now wrap it completely and let it set in your fridge for 3 to 4 hours. Then the détrempe. Transfer 300 grams of flour in a mixing bowl and also add 5 grams of sugar, 5 grams of salt, 125 grams of ice cold water and 7 grams of white wine vinegar. Now mix this on a low speed for a minute so all the ingredients can come together. Then add 65 grams of butter and mix it for another 4 minutes. Once it's a nice dough, transfer it on your worktop and press or roll it into a square that's also 20 centimeters. Wrap it tight in parchment paper and let it rest in your fridge for 2 hours. Then dust some flour on your worktop and lay the beurrage, so that's the butter, on there. Now roll it into a long rectangle that's 45 centimeters. Then use a brush to remove any excess flour and place the détrempe in the middle. Now fold the butter around the dough. Then let it set in your fridge for 30 minutes. Temperature is key when making puff pastry. After that, roll it into a long rectangle, remove any excess flour and then fold it in 3. Then turn the dough 90 degrees and repeat the process we just did. So roll, dust and fold. After that, wrap it and write down the amount of folds that we just did. Then let it cool down in your fridge for at least 3 hours. After that, take the dough out of the paper and turn it 90 degrees again. Roll it into a long rectangle, dust the flour off and fold it in 3. Then turn it 90 degrees and repeat the process once more. Then wrap it again, write down the number of folds and let it cool down for at least 3 hours. Once it's chilled again, we just do one more fold and then let it cool down for 3 hours. So in total, we fold it 5 times. After that, roll your puff pastry on a floured worktop into a big sheet. Then cut it to the desired size. Don't slice it, because then the sides won't puff up like the middle. Now we can bake the dough. This time I bake it between 2 wave molds for a nice effect. Find all the information on the mold in the description of this video. You could also bake it between some silicone sheets. Then place a baking tray on top and bake it at 180 degrees Celsius for around 30 minutes till golden brown. While it's baking, we can make our caramel powder that will dust on top after baking. Mix 150 grams of sugar with 75 grams of water and caramelize this on a medium heat till it's a golden brown caramel. Once it's a nice caramel, pour it onto a silicone sheet and level it. Let it cool down completely. Then transfer it into a blender and blend it into a fine powder. Keep it dry and covered for later. Once the puff pastry is golden brown, dust the top with a thin layer of the caramel powder and caramelize this for another 5 minutes at 180 degrees Celsius. Once the puff pastry is caramelized and still hot, gently portion it into the desired size. Now let it cool down completely and keep it dry and covered. Then the mango gel. Peel a mango and cut the mango off the seed. Now cut it in even cubes and weigh 400 grams into a pan. Then cut a lime in half and squeeze it for 40 grams of juice. Now cut half a vanilla pod in half and scrape out the seeds. Add both the seeds and the pod to the pan and also add 6 cardamom pods and 100 grams of ginger syrup. Then cover the pan with a lid and let it simmer on a low heat till the mango is fully cooked and the spices have infused. This takes about an hour. Once it's cooked, remove the spices and blend it till smooth. Now we need to know how much the puree weighs. For all my pans, I know exactly how much they weigh and I've engraved it on the bottom of the handle. This makes weighing reductions and other things very easy. Once you know the weight, add a gram of agar powder for every 100 grams of mixture. Then mix it well and bring it to a boil for at least 30 seconds. After that, pour it into a bowl and let it cool down in your fridge. When it's cold, transfer it into a blender and blend it till smooth. Now I always vacuum my gels. By doing this you will remove the air bubbles and that will leave you with a lovely clear and intense gel. Keep it in your fridge for later. Then the caramelized peanuts. Mix 150 grams of water with 100 grams of sugar and bring this to a boil. Once it's boiling, add 250 grams of peanuts and let it simmer on a medium-low heat for 5 minutes. Then transfer them on a tray and let them cool down completely. When that's done, heat up some frying oil till it's 160 degrees Celsius and add the peanuts. Now while mixing, caramelize the peanuts till golden brown. Beware that they will turn a bit darker after frying them. Then take them out and place them on a tray. Once they have cooled down a bit, place them on some kitchen paper and season with salt. If you place them straight on the paper, the peanuts might stick to the paper, and obviously you don't want this. Now keep them dry and covered for later. Then the coffee caramel ganache. Mix 80 grams of sugar with 20 grams of water and caramelize this on a medium heat till it's a golden brown caramel. Once the golden caramel starts to form, turn down the heat for more control. Now while mixing, add 60 grams of hot espresso, 20 grams of cream, 100 grams of white chocolate and 1 gram of flaky salt. Then mix it well till it's fully emulsified. It's best to use a hand blender, but with small recipes like this the blender won't take and you can use a whisk. Now pour it into a bowl and let it set in your fridge for at least 3 hours. Then transfer it into a piping bag that's fitted with a round nozzle and keep it in your fridge. Now for the whipped cardamom ganache. Start by soaking 2 leaves or 3.3 grams of gelatin in cold water. Then mix 380 grams of cream with 6 cardamom pods and cover the pan with a lid. Bring this to a simmer on a medium heat. Once it's simmering, turn off the heat and let it infuse for at least 1 hour. Meanwhile, mix 130 grams of white chocolate with 100 grams of mascarpone. Then bring the cream to a simmer once more. Now turn off the heat, remove the lid and dissolve the gelatin. Mix it well. After that, pour the hot cream through a fine sieve into the jar and blend it till smooth. This takes 1 to 2 minutes. Now while covered, let it set in your fridge for at least 8 hours. I always leave it overnight. After that, transfer the ganache into a stand mixing bowl and beat it till medium stiff peaks start to form. This takes around 2 to 3 minutes. Don't over whisk it, otherwise the ganache will split. Then transfer it into a piping bag, fit it with a flat nozzle and keep it in your fridge for later. Now let's finish the mille-feuille. First, place the puff pastry next to each other and pipe the whipped ganache on the first 3 sheets. Make sure it's an even layer. Now pipe some of the espresso and caramel ganache in the middle. Also pipe some of the mango gel on both sides. Then gently place the first 3 sheets on top of each other and press some of the caramelized peanuts on the final sheet. Gently place that one on the mille-feuille as well. Now if preferred you can pipe some more filling on top, but for me this is already the perfect balance. Okay guys, that's it for today. Incredibly happy with the result. Obviously it looks amazing. You have all the layers of the puff pastry, the whipped cardamom ganache, beautiful mango gel, the coffee caramel ganache or caramel, whatever you like to call it. I like to call it ganache because there is so much white chocolate in it. And then those caramelized peanuts, really little bulbs of crispiness, of texture, and of a beautiful rich flavor. I mean, who doesn't love caramelized peanuts? Enough talking, let's just dig in because I can't wait to taste it because it looks so damn good. Let's dig in. Yeah, I just love that crunch and look at all those layers. You can see all the components and yeah, let's dig in. And that's so good. It's quite a mouthful. But the texture, the flavor, the looks, definitely 10 out of 10. Okay guys. Yeah, that's it for today. I hope you've enjoyed the video. I mean, I definitely have. Let me know in the comments on what you want to see next. Like and share the video. And please subscribe if you want to see more great recipes like this. And if you want to support me as well. And as always, bon appetit.